Well, hey everybody, going to see if this is actually working and try to do live. So I've been trying to figure out how to go live, so we'll see if we're going live this afternoon. Did want to talk about radar. Earlier in the day, we talked about thunderstorms in Northern California, and sure enough, here they are. It's been a rather active afternoon. And right now, this area here in Butte County, there is a severe thunderstorm warning. That's this little box right in here. It's not up for much longer. If I click on that, it says severe thunderstorm warning up for another 10 minutes. There is hail, 1-inch hail, and perhaps 50-mile-an-hour winds. And so here is that severe thunderstorm warning from the National Weather Service in effect until 5:15 this afternoon for southern Tehama, west central Butte, and northeastern Glenn counties. So law enforcement reported hail on roadways near Orland, causing difficult driving conditions. Yeah, that would do it. A lot of these this afternoon have had hail, and so we can also take a look at this in different ways. I'm going to take a look at it first, we'll look at it side by side with rotation. So what I have on the left here is the cell just in the regular reflectivity mode, and then this is in the mode of the rotation of it. So whether or not it's spinning around. And if I zoom in on that a little bit, there is a rather well-defined couplet. Now earlier today there were some funnel clouds reported down near Turlock. I can show you that in a second, back around 2:45 I think it was this afternoon. But this is a rather well-defined couplet. And this is off the Davis radar. I should maybe call up the BBX radar. But what this indicates is that in one direction you have winds going toward the radar, that's the green, and then in the red it's going away from the radar. So let me stop this. So that means that right in here you have winds that are going this way and then winds that are going this way. So you could have some rotation in here. Now it doesn't mean that there is a tornado here. It does mean that there's rotation, and actually I'll show you a really bad video of that in just a second. So there could be a funnel cloud here, but again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. But that cell is, here's Willows, so it's up here north of Willows. This has already dropped that hail in the Orland area, so that's the velocity mode. We can also take a look at, let's see, see all the products we have here. I want to look at hydrometeor classification. And as you can see, these areas here, that indicates hail, that little spot of red right in there. Let's see if that has been increasing or decreasing. So right in here, see that spot of red right there? That was the radar indicating hail right here. And they did say that they had big hail near Orland, and that is probably it right there. So that's another product off the radar. And then you can see here, that's the way it looked in the reflectivity mode. And the reflectivity, let's go back just to reflectivity. And let's see, here we are. And as you can see, the reflectivity actually decreases here with that. See how bright it gets right there? And then that decreases a little bit. All right, all sorts of other activity going on here in Northern California. This cell, not warned, but this one too may have some hail with it. So this is Roseville. Let's put this into motion. And you can see this one's moving in a different direction. A clear indication we have this low spinning around the area, and that's helping to give us the instability this afternoon. Colder air aloft and that low moving inland, it's all giving us this instability. So in Lincoln, let's go this way. So this is just on the north side of Lincoln, and even though you're not seeing, well, there's a couple of lightning bolts in here, I'm sure you're hearing that. And just outside the home weather office, I was watching this one go on by. This one also had some rotation with it. Let me go back to this and go back to velocity mode. Velocity mode. So this had a little bit of rotation with it as it went out over Folsom Lake. I thought that looked rather interesting right in here. I didn't like that kind of shape. Actually, I got curious about enough. I had to go outside the home weather office and go take a look. and I'll see if I can find a video that I shot of that. It did show weak rotation with the base, but it wasn't great, and there wasn't a funnel cloud that was that went along with that. But let me stop this. So now Cameron Park, probably getting some hail here right on Highway 50. That is this is another interesting feature on the radar. This actually, somebody from the morning briefing was asking me about this. And for those of you that have been around for a while, you know that this is the windmills near Rio Vista. So what the radar is looking for is things that are moving, and certainly rain and hail and that sort of thing are moving. So what is the radar seeing here that is moving? That it's always there. Let me just pulse through that. Notice how this isn't moving? There's a spot here and there's a spot here. For those of you familiar with Highway 50, this is the hill at Costco, and this is the Bass Lake grade. So what's happening is the radar that's over by Davis, by the time the beam is here, it's looking up in the air a few hundred feet, and it is seeing cars moving up and down Highway 50 on that grade. And then here, it's seeing them similarly on the Bass Lake grade. So it's actually seeing cars and trucks. Sometimes we see the same thing on I-5, north and south. All right, so yeah, getting hail right now into Cameron Park, most likely. And let me widen back out because, widen out, I said. We also have a pretty good cell here in near McCollum Hill along Highway 49, near Sutter Creek too. And then, tornado warning. All right, breaking news, we have a tornado warning. Actually, looks like there may be two of them. Tornado warning. All right. So tornado warning. This is in effect until 5:30 for southwest Tuolumne County, east central Stanislaus County. Impact, flying debris. Let's see. Source, radar indicated rotation. So doesn't mean that there has been one-sided. And there are two of these. Yes, there are two of these. This one, it came out of a different weather service office. That's why there are two of them. This one goes until 5:45, but also radar indicated rotation. This line right here, radar indicated rotation. All right, so for that, let's take a look at the rotation here. Not seeing great rotation, but let's see what they've been looking at here. Wow. All right, at least off the Davis radar, that doesn't look like very impressive rotation. So they issued these warnings, these twin tornado warnings, because of radar indicated rotation here. All right, bear with me for a second. So here's what we're going to do. Going back to this, going to stop this. And so that's off the Davis radar. Let's see if it looks any different from the Fresno radar. Okay, so I've switched down to this radar instead of this radar. Sometimes you get a better view. All right, so now let's zoom back in on that. And let's see what the velocity mode looks like here. Yeah, wow. I'm not trying to discount these at all. Tornado warning is a tornado warning, but for radar indicated rotation, I'm not seeing it. But there is a tornado warning for, depending on where you are, for either 5:30 or 5:45 this afternoon. As you can see here. Let me stop this. Yeah, that rotation just doesn't look great on the radar. It could be one of those things that it's kind of in between really good radars, and also keep in mind that by the time the radar is viewing this, the radar beam itself is well off the ground by a couple of thousand feet, so it may not be indicating exactly what's going on down below. I'm going to switch back to the Davis radar. Go up here, switch back to KDAX. And so, yeah, tornado warning up for part of Stanislaus County. If you're, let's say, in Modesto or Turlock or Waterford and you're getting that warning, it certainly does not apply to you, even though you are in Stanislaus County. All of that is off to your east. It also takes into account part of Tuolumne County, but if you're in Sonora or Jamestown, that also doesn't apply to you. And like I said, the rotation doesn't look all that great on that one. To me, the rotation actually looked better on this one to the north. Let's see, do we have a... Let's see, that thunderstorm warning's now expiring, and they put up a special weather statement for this one. Well, either way, we do have quite a bit of active weather. The reason they did a special weather statement on this one as opposed to the severe thunderstorm warning, it's this reason: the hail, half-inch hail, and they'll probably say radar indicated. Hazard, wind in excess of 30 miles an hour, and hail, half-inch. Radar indicated hail. So the problem here is that in order to get a severe thunderstorm warning, you have to have 1-inch hail. Half-inch hail doesn't do it. And it's in years and years ago, there didn't used to be a national standard. There could be more a regional standard. And I wish we still had a regional standard, because around here, when we get thunderstorms, for the local residents, they're severe. You have something like this going over your house. You hear thunder, lightning, downpours, and hail, like we have over McCulmy Hill, heading toward Mountain Ranch. And right here along Highway 49, if you're trying to drive 49 between San Andreas, McCulmy Hill, and up towards Sutter Creek and Jackson, it's pouring, it's hailing, you get thunder and lightning. And for Northern California, that's severe. It's not severe for Oklahoma, but for our area, it is. But they apply the same standard across the country. Let's see what this one shows in terms of velocity. So this is interesting. So we have, this is north of Lincoln. So in Lincoln, you have winds that are going this way. On the north side, you have winds that are going this way. That means this is just a boundary. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's rotation going on with that. Let's see. One of the nice things keep in mind, I am new to this. Yes. So Dave's, yes. So I'm also just new to the chat. So now I'm opening up the chat to see what you guys are seeing. Yay, it's working now. Bradley says you're on. Yeah, I figured it out. Took me a few clicks. Let's see. James says hail in Jackson. Let's see. Switch the radar back. I'm still getting used to going live here, so bear with me. Okay, so hail in Jackson. Yep, that's this one. Okay, now where'd the chat go? Oh, there it is. Okay, thanks, James. So on a Zoom call for the air show and watching you. So Red Dog Mama. Last week we were talking about the fact that we might have some rain this weekend. Now, weather looks great. Upper 60s Saturday, low 70s Sunday should be great. Yep, Anthony showed the tornado warning. Let's see. Yeah, kind of a live chat. Kind of figured this out. Hey, Juan's here. Good to see you. Kind of dark up here. All right, let's see what's going on up in Juan's neck of the woods. Yeah, see, all this mess, Juan, is heading your way. Might be a little bit south of Highway 20, but either way, we have this nice convergence going on, and man, yeah, this one looked really good. This one went right over the home weather office, and boy, the skies looked interesting when it went by. All right, where'd my chat go? Oh no. There we go. There's that. Sorry. KCRA had a shot of funnel cloud. Beautiful. Yeah, there were 2 funnel cloud reports down near Turlock. Don't know what KCRA showed. I've been actually out chasing the weather. Mary says small hail in Colfax. Arthur says Juan's here. Snow and hail at 3,000 feet in Camino. Yes, that is where the home weather office is in EDH. Steve, I'm kind of focused on these thunderstorms in NorCal. Marcia said had a fair amount of hail in East Sonora. Jason White, hello from Ione. It's been an interesting afternoon. Yeah, let's take a look at Ione while we're here. Yeah, man, this thing just skirted by you. But now, yeah, I'm looking at this area around Sutter Creek and toward McColmy Hill and San Andreas. That stretch of Highway 49 cannot be very fun right now. Oops, I did it again. I try to keep going back to the chat. I don't know why the chat disappears. Again, I'm still pretty new to this. There we go. Let's see. So Dave says, in a community page, they said it was a constant roll of thunder just north of Orland, hundreds of lightning strikes. What website am I on? This is an app called RadarScope. I have a desktop version and a phone version. So one asks, can you explain why these tend to die off as they roll up the hill toward Grass Valley? Well, we do get a bit more steady convergence. So this is a good area to look at. So here we have nice steady flow coming up out of the south and east, and it's converging with a little bit of north flow. So if you just imagine a squeeze going on here and the air being forced up. Over the valley floor, the flow is very uniform. And I'm sure that as a pilot, you fully understand that. Whereas once we get over the foothills, this flow out of the south is much more rolling, much more wave-like. So you can have updrafts and downdrafts from south flow, especially in the foothills. Now, that doesn't mean that the foothills don't see thunderstorms, obviously. But the hillier terrain you get into, in a case like this anyway, it can make these things die off. Now, I do remember a case that we had back in October of, wow, was it 16? Man, I'd have to look at my records. But we had a day when we had, I believe, 7 tornado warnings and at least 5 tornadoes. And one of them was in Grass Valley. There was a line that went from Butte County all the way down into Sacramento County. We kept tracking them all day long. But that's what often happens as we get into the foothills. You have more smooth terrain down on the valley floor to help so it doesn't inhibit the flow as much, and you get more lumpy flow with updrafts and downdrafts once you get over the higher terrain. All right, we still have this tornado warning, these dual tornado warnings in effect, but boy, I'm puzzled by these because, again, these were radar indicated. And yeah, you see a tiny couplet in here. I know I can investigate that if I remember how. Yes, okay. So, yeah, this is very, very weak. So I'm trying to find if I can. So this spot here says it's 13.5 miles an hour away from the radar, and here it's 2.2 toward the radar. So yeah, that's just not great rotation. But again, I don't want to second guess what the NWS is doing, what they have done here, and certainly if you're in this area, take precaution. Right now it's 5:23. This northern part warning, the one in Stanislaus County, is in effect till 5:30. The one that came out of the Hanford office is in effect until 5:45. So just take shelter. Let this little cell go by, and this is the way they're kind of tracking it on the radar. Yeah. But yeah, either way, we still have that tornado warning. And I don't want to, again, I don't mean to discount that. It's just that as I look at the radar, I'm not seeing it. Let me click on this again to see if there's been any update on this. So it's still radar indicated. See, they call it capable of producing a tornado. So just because there's a tornado warning, especially when it says it is radar indicated, and they also may have pulled the trigger on this because we had funnel clouds in this area earlier. Let's see. Nope. Zoom out a little bit. Oh, I don't have them on this one. Oh, they may have expired. They were down near the Turlock area. There were some funnel clouds back around 2:45 this afternoon. All right, let's go back to the north. This, again, is not a severe thunderstorm warning over Willows, but this is what was that severe thunderstorm warning over Willows. And now let's go see what the velocity looks like on this one. See, now this couplet looks a lot better to me. So here you have the wind coming at the radar at 26.8 and going away from the radar at 14.5. That couplet to me looks better than the one where we have the tornado warning. Again, I would speculate, and just totally speculating, that there could be a funnel cloud in here. But more importantly, we likely have more hail happening. Let's take a look at the hydrometeor classification. And yeah, there's some spots of red in here, right in here. So we could be seeing some hail right over I-5 right now. Let's see, do I have that still? Oh, I do. All right, I'm going to show you a really bad video. Now, keep in mind, I've warned you, this is a really bad video. And I got to try to size it. If it will let me size it. I warned you guys. This may take a second. Here we go. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, so I was out. I got to keep that. This was handheld with my iPhone, and so Folsom Lake is over here. I'm on Sophia Parkway and Green Valley Road. And so I was looking at this. This is that rotation that I saw over El Dorado Hills on the radar. And since this is handheld, you can, it's really, really jumpy. But if I play it back fast, you can see that we have rotation here. I wouldn't really call that a funnel cloud, but we have this rotating this way. You can clearly see that there's a rotating base here. And so the radar could have been able to pick that up. And I watched it for about 10 minutes or so, and I never did see a funnel cloud out of it, but it was certainly rotating. And next time I will put put my iPhone on a tripod. I mean, yeah, you could almost, if you used your imagination, you could maybe think that was a funnel cloud. I saw another example that I didn't record that may have looked a little bit better for a funnel. But this is what we may be seeing up toward the Willows area right now, is a rotating base like that. All right, enough of that bad video. I apologize, but I wanted to try to at least show you that if I could. All right, where's my radar? There we go, back to the radar. So we may be seeing something like that up toward the Willows area. And let me further get rid of this. Actually, Juan, I've got to sit down with you one of these days, because I've got to figure out a better way to do my my chats here. My OBS is okay, but I think I can do better. Anyway, all right. So let me go back to one here. And where's my chat? Well, every time I try to find the chat, it goes away. There it is. So now I'm scanning through some chats here. So I use a separate pad to monitor the chat. Sometimes I get it. Yep. Yeah, Sophia, I keep telling myself that one of these days I'm going to do a video just showing you guys everything that I use. Lake Comanche, just now calmed down. Some serious activity, yep. What's going on in Massachusetts? Getting ready for sock season. That's what we're doing in Massachusetts. Carol says, watching from Tennessee. Nice to see Mark and Juan on, originally from Chico. Nice. Yeah, Sophia, like I said, one of these days, and but I'll warn you right now, I've been, telling myself I'll do that for like the last, 6 months. It's a great idea because I get a lot of people that are, ask, what do you use for this? What do you use for that? And there are some things that I use almost every day, like the COD, College of DuPage model site. All right, so we did get one of those tornado warnings to expire. The one that's up until 5:45 is still in existence. So that was a really interesting case because the county line right here is the delineation between the Sacramento office and the Fresno office, the Hanford office, I should say. So, so they put up two warnings. One was in effect until 5:30, the other one in effect till 5:45. So one expired and the other one will continue to go. So for those of you in that area, yeah, give it another 15 minutes and let it pass. But let's go back to the velocity on here and whoops, I'm on hail. Let's go back to velocity mode. Yeah, there's a tiny couplet in here, but it's just, I don't know. We've seen better during the course of the day today. But yeah, like I said, just stay safe. Let that thing pass for those of you in that area, and give it like 15 minutes or so. Zoom back out. All right, the foothills. Yeah, we're still getting a really good cell here near Angels Camp. Boy, this one right here this one's a humdinger over San Andreas. Now I like it when they put these little dots on here because you can get some additional information. Sometimes, yes. Cell J6. So let's see what they have to say about cell J6. So this is raw off of the radar. This is kind of cool. So a 100% chance, I said rather 10% chance of severe hail, 70% chance of hail with a max size of a half an inch. So for severe hail, they want it to be up around an inch. But this is what they're detecting off the radar, that it's moving to the east at 11 knots. So for those of you in San Andreas, yeah, there's some really good hail in there. And let's go, and instead of velocity, let's do the hydrometeor classification. And yeah, good hail are here. So it's these red spots in here. Which correspond to this spot in here. So just on the north side of San Andreas, like I said, that's going to cover Highway 49 in hail. That cannot be a fun drive right now. And if I zoom back out a little bit, you see that went through McCollum Hill. So on the west side of Highway 49, through Amador City, Sutter Creek, Jackson, and toward Ione, that area is now cleared out. But for those of you along Highway 49 right around San Andreas and all the way down toward Angels Camp, you'll still be in and out of that. Other little cells will continue to pop up here as we get closer to sunset, I think. So here we are at 5:32, and we still have the possibility of more. Oh, we got another one coming toward the home weather office. A little cell here. Let me put that into motion, see where this thing's headed. So that's the one that moved out. This one just, and this is also interesting. I talked about convergence, and you'll notice that this one here over Folsom and Granite Bay. Granite Bay, really interesting. Been hit. This will be the third time today. So what you have here is there's an obvious spot of convergence, because it's not as if this cell has come from anywhere. It's just developed here. And so that's basically right over the dam. So when I was looking at that view that I showed you, I could see across Folsom Lake, and you know Folsom Lake isn't full, so on the far side out toward Granite Bay, you could see that the shore was actually white, on the dirt areas, because the lake isn't full just yet, because it was covered in hail from one of the cells that went by earlier in the day. But this is a new one, and like I said, this has just popped up, and it's going right over Folsom Lake, and I can even show you where the home weather office is. So here's the home weather office, and there's the cell. So like I said, radar scope is it's a fun tool, and a very useful tool, and all the products that are on it. All right, let's see what's happening here. Yeah, same thing. You notice how these just develop. I mean, you look at this spot right here. It just develops. So it's not like these, and that's the interesting thing about thunderstorms. It's not as if you track one from San Francisco to Auburn. No, it's they pulse. So they develop and they dissipate. They develop and they dissipate. And that's one of the things that is sometimes difficult to understand. I remember way back when I was the official meteorologist for a U.S. Open golf tournament, way back in my career, and we had a radar set up at the golf course. And this was before anything like radar scope or the internet, for that matter. But we had a remote radar. This was back when I was in Rochester. Anyway, we had a thunderstorm that popped up, and it developed over very near the golf course, and they had to shut down play for the day. And they're like, "You should have been able to give us more warning." Well, so I said to them, "Well, there has to be a first lightning strike somewhere. It's not as if I'd been tracking it for 15 miles away. Keep that in mind. With a thunderstorm developing, the first lightning strike has to happen somewhere, and it happened to be very near the golf course. It's a very frustrating situation. And so, all right, this is interesting too. Let me back this out. All right, let's just look at the overall motion here. Look at the way these cells are moving from the north and west. These cells are moving more from the south and east. They're moving from the west to the east, and these are moving to the north, from the north. So we clearly have this low that's spinning around, and you can even see it on the storm tracks here. These are tracking this way, and actually they have this one going due north, but that isn't quite right. So it's a rather interesting case this afternoon with these thunderstorms. All right, let's see. Oh, let me go back to some of these the messages. I'm enjoying this. This does remind me of back in the old Facebook Live days. Well, thanks. Ron Jones, I'm in an RV. If there's one, it'll find me. Yeah. Chris, if I could give you a big thumbs up, I would. My phone weather app is Mark Finance YouTube channel. It's funny. Somebody at the golf course last week asked me, what app do you use? Yeah, well, here's one you can use. Mark Finance Weather. Hey, Richard's from Boise. Nice. Thanks for checking in. So Karen, that mess over San Andreas is moving almost due east. Yeah, Patrick. It's Patrick says it's different not seeing you on Channel 3 doing the weather. Yeah, but you know what? Right now I am sitting at home. I'm doing the weather. I am in jeans. I'm still wearing my boots because I was outside earlier. But you know, when I'm not in a suit and tie. I'm not going to be in the office for 12 hours today. And you know, when I shut this down, I'll go have a glass of wine. So this is this is all good. Sophia, yeah, boo Facebook. Oh my God. You know, for those of you, since I've got this opportunity to just chat with you guys live, if Facebook, I don't know what they did to my page, but I can't reference Facebook anymore. I can't get into the account, the one that was KCRA Mark Finan, and for 6 months I tried to remove the KCRA Mark Finan on the page and just change it to Mark Finan Weather, but there were problems with that. And then so now I tried to well, they gave me a notice that they were going to suspend the account. I don't know why, but they did. And then they did, and now I can't get into it. And it's a classic, you know, Facebook thing. If this was the government, we'd complain more about it. But so what they did was they said, we're going to suspend your account. If you want to appeal this, just log into your account and do so. Well, of course, I can't log into the account. So for those of you that used to, I doubt you guys could hear that, but I just had thunder outside the home weather office. But for those of you that used to get to the YouTube channel through my Facebook, because I would post a link on the Facebook page, I obviously can't do that anymore. So yeah, Facebook is kind of dead to me. I did just start an Instagram page today, for those of you that use that, and that's also called Mark Finan Weather. Yeah, Facebook Live, the good old days. That's kind of how this whole thing started, and I carried a lot of the Facebook Live attributes to the morning briefings. Yeah, Josie. Yeah, this is my kind of day. Josie and Tomas in Loma Rica, also back from the Facebook Live days. Oh, Jamie said, I'm wearing earbuds, so I heard that thunder. Nice. Beth says, thunder lightning here in San Andreas. Nice. What's the North Valley look like? Oh, all right. Let's take a look at that. So here's what I'm going to do for that. Is you notice that up toward Redding, it doesn't look all that great, and up toward Shasta, well, it's because I'm looking off the Davis radar. So if we go to the Beale radar, things look a little bit better. Is this another special weather statement or a severe thunderstorm warning? Special weather statement and special weather statement. You know, I'll do another editorial here. So we have this pretty good cell over Willows, and again, I'm looking at the off the Beale radar. That by California standards is to me a severe thunderstorm. It has to have hail with it. I mean, that's a huge hail. Oh my goodness, that's a big hail signature. Yeah, as I scroll over that, it says large hail. To me, that's a severe thunderstorm. So, but it doesn't as yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they warn this one after they get that signature there. So what the Weather Service does is, let me get back off of this. So as I explained earlier, they do a special weather statement because they only indicate hail at 1/2 inch. And it needs to be 1 inch in order to put up a severe thunderstorm warning. But the problem is that unless they do a severe thunderstorm warning, you don't hear about this on the radio. And from my television days, you know, if we had a severe thunderstorm warning, we'd go on TV to tell you about it. And, you know, same thing with a tornado warning and that sort of thing. But from a special weather statement, there's no, you know, let's say we're not in the middle of a newscast. Let's say it's 3:30 in the afternoon and we get one of these. Well, we're under no obligation to run on TV to tell you about it. But if there's a severe thunderstorm warning, we would. Now, sometimes we would just, especially in a case like this, I would just go into the manager's office and say, hey, I'd like to go on TV. And they were always really good about it, saying, yeah, we can, we'll find a commercial break, and okay, it's 3:30, at 3:35 we can get you on TV. I'm like, okay, fine. But if there was a severe thunderstorm warning, we would go on and we'd break into programming. I hope you're all hearing that. Whew, that's a beauty. Ooh. That rattled some of the pictures on the wall. That's awesome. So that's the annoyance for us in the weather, in the weather broadcast community, is that you have a thunderstorm here that has, actually we're up to some yellow here now. That is large hail. This yellow spot right here is giant hail. Yeah, that should be a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, the folks at the Weather Service are doing what they can. And that's right over I-5. That blue line right there is I-5. Woof. That cannot be a good drive right now. But so I'm guessing, and I don't have a television here in the office, in the home weather office. I have it, yeah, still just a special weather statement. So yeah, TV's in the other room, so I don't know what they're doing on KCRA, but that to me should be a severe thunderstorm warning, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Weather Service issues one. But either way, this one near Willows, moving south now of Willows, moving down I-5, that area, that's a nasty one. All right, let's see what's rattling the windows here at the home weather office. Yep, I'm on the southern edge of this one right here. Man, that was some nice thunder that just rumbled. So Granite Bay, getting it again. I think this is the third one to go over Granite Bay today. Wow. And let's see if we still have that tornado warning in effect. Nope. Did they make it a severe thunderstorm warning? Nope, just a special weather statement. So we no longer have a tornado warning. And as far as I know, we didn't get a tornado out of that. But this guy, to me, should be, again, I'm not working for the National Weather Service. I just think that is a severe thunderstorm by Northern California standards. This line right here has been really, really interesting. Just skirting north of Lincoln, but on that stretch of road between Lincoln and Wheatland. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to go onto another computer and check something out here. Yeah, hang on. I'm moving away from the microphone for a second here. I'm going to check to see if there are any issues on 65. Let's see. Not seeing anything there. The Chico office. So I'm checking the CHP site. They got roadway flooding, northbound 99. Oh, I'll let you enjoy some of that thunder again. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, okay. So yeah, I was just checking the CHP site to see if there are any issues here along 65, because this line has been very persistent. As you can see here, and 65 goes right here. So not seeing any issues on the CHP site, but we'll have to see. And then this is the one that's rumbling the windows here at the home weather office. Let's see, this is the one that just went through San Andreas with hail, right there. Oh, that's off the Beale radar. That's why it looks like they're different. Let's go back to the Davis radar. Man, these things look good. And we still just have a special weather statement for this guy. Let's see if we have the hail size. Yeah, the hail size diminished. We still have hail with it, but we don't have the giant hail indicator that we had earlier. But as you can see, this is moving south, so it's going right on I-5. But man, if you have to use I-5 between Maxwell and Willows right now, ooh, I mean, after we've had some rain like we have had for the last 5 days or so, there's probably some standing water. But man, and the hail, that it had to be giant hail for a while, probably, the kind that can maybe even dent your car. And that's just nasty. And let's zoom back into, man, Granite Bay getting it again. Like I said, it's the third one, and this is interesting. So once again, look at this area near Folsom. I talked about Convergence. Watch, looks like there's another little one that just developed right here. Now, so we put it into motion. One blossoms here, another one blossoms right behind it. So this is what happens. There's areas of convergence, so that makes things more favorable. And it was interesting in the morning briefing today. The models indicated the east side of the valley as being really a popular area around 4, 5, 6 o'clock this evening, and that's certainly coming true. You can't really depend on the model to give you, tell you exactly when you're going to see a cell like this, like the one going right over Rockland right now. It's not going to tell you within 10 miles of where there's going to be a thunderstorm, but it can certainly give you regions to be on the lookout. So we were looking at Sacramento County, Placer County, and into the foothills up to Highway 49, and that certainly is the case today. See, that's the special weather statement. Light rain coming out of the Bay Area. Windmills here. Light rain. And then this one with the hail. Let me just switch back to the Beale radar once again, just to see if this one might have a better hail indication. Yeah, this one looks better in terms of the hail indication. Let's go here. Yeah, this is still showing big hail. It really depends on what radar you look at. So it's not showing giant hail, but it's showing very large hail. Yep, I don't get it. So let's see if I click off this and then just click on this, see what they're saying. So they're saying that the hail is 3/4 of an inch. Possibility of severe hail, 60%. Yeah, again, for me, for California, that's a severe thunderstorm and worthy of a severe thunderstorm warning. All right. Go back to see what you guys are saying. So, Dave, I'm glad you brought that up, the whole NWS thing. Some people are asking me to comment about the NWS layoffs and that sort of thing, and I didn't comment because I didn't pay attention enough to know where the cutoffs, where the layoffs were, and that sort of thing. I don't know where they trimmed, but if you look at NOAA is a huge organization. It's more than just the National Weather Service. So that's why I didn't comment, because I don't know enough about it to comment. But the only thing that I will say is that I hope that there isn't a trend toward privatization of weather services. There is a company out there that I won't name that has lobbied in the past to get the National Weather Service out of the weather forecasting business and have them just trimmed back to an observation service. And I think that would be a mistake to privatize, because if you look at a day like today, if you all of a sudden on a day like today, we have, I'm debating about whether we should have a special weather statement or severe thunderstorm warning, or whether or not should have those tornado warnings down south, that sort of thing. But as meteorologists, we defer to the Weather Service to say, okay, you guys are the authority when it comes to these warnings. And today's these are relatively minor. I quibble about whether or not a severe thunderstorm warning in Oklahoma should be the same as a severe thunderstorm warning in Northern California. And I think those should be more regional. That's a quibble. But imagine a case where there were competing weather services telling where a hurricane was going to make landfall and who should evacuate and who shouldn't. When it comes to something like weather and severe weather, you need one authority. You need one dependable authority, and try to make use whatever resources we can to make that authority as powerful as it can be in terms of giving them the tools that they need to do their job. So again, I just hope that trying to minimize the NWS isn't a slippery slope toward privatization. Tommy, I fly over the Davis radar frequently. Does it ever pick up airplanes? It probably does, as I listen to more thunder. But I think it would be rather fleeting, if you will. Is the lifting force coming from air being pushed up near the foothills? More of the lifting force is, we could be getting a little bit of that on the east side of the valley, certainly. But we also just have this very cold air moving in aloft today. Fog machine, I didn't say that. Rebecca, again, you guys can go ahead and name those names. I don't want to be sued by anybody. And yeah, Jim, like I said, the privatizing weather services would would not be a good idea. And their argument is that the government isn't supposed to compete with private enterprise. That was the argument they were making. And nobody's stopping companies from doing weather forecasting. Nobody's stopping me from doing my little channel here. And I don't feel as though I'm competing with the Weather Service. I think the Weather Service actually helps me do my job. Do I do my own independent analysis and forecasting? Yes, but I use their observations, and so they help facilitate what I do and what other meteorologists like me across the country and frankly across the world do. Weather observations, weather forecasting, the advances in weather forecasting that I've seen just in my relatively short career, all of those aren't possible without an organization like the National Weather Service and NOAA and the researchers that we don't ever even hear about. The people that do work at universities and at places like the Severe Storms Lab. I'm zooming in here because that little area near Lincoln looked interesting. This little notch in here looked interesting. Let me zoom in on that just a little bit more. So you see where it says Lincoln right here, and then you have this little notch in here. So that would correspond to this area in here. Okay, I'm not... No, I mean, sometimes looking at the at these velocity signatures can be, you know, kind of looking at a Rorschach test. It's like, what do you see? What do you see? You can see what you want to see sometimes. Man, are we getting more hail in Granite Bay? You know, from the home weather office, I continue to hear the rumbles of thunder, but I'm only getting a few drops of rain. I continue to be on the south edge of this, but this whole area from I-80 down to Folsom Lake, that little corner of southwest Placer County, well, I include the northern part of Folsom, you know, north of the river, basically. That whole area right in here, this area's been hit a few times, and this looks like a good hailer now too. Let me go to hydrometeor classification again. So let's switch over to yeah, here it is. Yep, there's hail. It's not giant hail, but it says hail. So that's that red spot indicating hail. Yeah, 54 dBz. That's so that's the rate of return on the radar. So how much of the radar beam is going back to the radar? High reflectivity basically is you know. So when you're seeing hail, when the radar beam hits hail, you know, not a lot of the beam goes through the hail shaft and instead gets bounced back. So 54 dBz is pretty high. So let me go back to this. And is this? So 54 dBz is up in this range here on the scale. I don't know if I don't think you have that on your screen. So if I can zoom that up a little bit. So this is the scale down in here. You know, the scale does go up into the 70s. Actually, it goes into the 80s. I don't know if I've ever seen anything in the 80s, but I have seen dBzs up in the 70s for, you know, softball-sized hail and that sort of thing. But for us to get, you know, 54 dBz here, we got 61. Yeah, that's got to be a good-sized hailer. And that should be heading, maybe just skirting on the north side of Lincoln here, coming up in a little bit. Now, when I do the morning briefing, I tell you guys that what I'm doing with the morning briefing is basically showing you what I look at first thing in the morning. And all I'm doing right now is, you know, showing you what I'd be doing in the evening on a day like this, is just looking at the radar. And back when I was doing the television thing, yeah, I just have my face in radar all day. And then other sites to see, you know, what's going on. And then going on TV. So this little cell that's east of Galt's, it says 0% chance of severe hail, but a 30% chance of hail with a max size of 1/2 inch. Do we have one of those? We should have one of those with this one up our Lincoln. I just had to let that go. I do like a good thunderstorm. I know a lot of you don't, and I know that those of you that have pets, you know, pets don't like it. But man, it's I just enjoy that sound. So this one here, it says that, wow. It says 0% chance of severe hail, 60% chance of hail, max size of 1/2 inch. Well, this looks like it's pretty good sized hail to me. That's a really strong return. And that's should be heading just on the north side of Lincoln. And this one now appears to be dissipating, but still is moving right down I-5. All right, let's see. Preston says, getting darker in Shingle Springs. Yeah, you've got one heading your way. Jim says, I just had a very large lightning strike, and I can also hear it over this channel from your location. John says, loved it. From the Midwest, love to hear it. Mark, I've been following you since 2002. Stalker. No, I'm kidding. Where'd that comment go? Sorry, I'm just reading comments. Just want to see what's happening where you guys are. Sophia, team proud to be a Mark Stalker. That's funny. All right, let's go back to the radar. One of these days I'll figure this stuff out. How to do this more smoothly. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, so this is the first time I've tried to go live here. I tried it earlier and it was weird. It was not showing that it was live, but I was live. And so then it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's actually working. So yeah, so I'll figure this out. There's got to be a better way to do comments as well as talk about this other stuff. But you know, I'm learning. I'm still trying to figure this out. I've only been doing YouTube for 2 years. So yeah, Lincoln, especially those of you on the north side of Lincoln. Yeah, this is a lot of lightning in here. This is a really active cell in here. Not getting any rotation, but if I was in Lincoln, or that's 65 right there, man, that's a pretty nasty cell. And we have more of them popping up as this cold air moves in. These will dissipate a little bit as the sun goes down, but I still think we're going to see rain showers. Let's see what time we're at 6:07. Sun doesn't go down until about 7:30, so we still have probably another hour of some of this pretty good activity. Lots of lightning in here. Now into Maxwell. Animate this, and so you can see, see this is coming right down I-5. Oh, that would not be a fun drive because you have the heavy rain, it's windy, you have hail, it's been on the road. That's just not a good spot to be. And this is that little convergence line, but it does look as though this southern spot right here is finally going to get into Lincoln. For the most part, it's been just north of Lincoln, but I think this little area may dive into Lincoln shortly. And for Granite Bay, I mean, just cell after cell continues to go by. And I hear those rumbles of thunder occasionally from the home weather office. Went through San Andreas earlier, dropping that big-sized hail. That looks like it's moved on, which is nice. And that area where we did have the tornado warning from this cell, that is dissipated. It's now down into this cell here. And as far as I know, actually, let me go to yet another computer. I don't think there were any LSRs that came from the Weather Service, but let me find out. can't have enough computers. All right, let's see what we got here. Tornado warning, LSR. 3/4 inch hail in Tehama. 1 inch hail in Tehama. Funnel cloud at 2:45 in Denair. I'm looking at the local storm reports, the LSRs from the Sacramento office. Let's see, this goes back to 2 o'clock this afternoon. The snow report, 10 inches of snow from the snow lab. No, so no reports of any additional funnel clouds coming from this one here. So that's good news that we didn't get a tornado or anything damaging, at least not been reported. All right. Well, tell you what, I think we're gonna go have a glass of wine and enjoy the rest of my evening and listen to the thunder go by. I'll just read a couple more comments. Diane, in the foothills of McCollum Hill, have been ripping thunder hail. Cold winds comes and goes. Thank goodness we still have electricity. Mm-hmm. Katrina says, just got hail up here in Plymouth. Nice, thank you for that. S-Pack says, had some rain/grapple mix north of Bishop. Nice. What website is this? This is Radar Scope. Well, thanks. Thanks guys for being here. Like I said, this is my first try at doing a live, and now that I've kind of figured it out, I will definitely do this more often when we get thunderstorms, because this is I love doing this. I love looking at radar, showing you guys what's going on, and back in my TV days, I on a day like today, I would have just, if I could, I would have just told them, say, you guys just go away. I'll do the half hour. I'll just talk about radar for half an hour. We don't have to do any other news. But they would never listen to me that. What is the burst pattern in Davis? I mean, this right in here. That is, so the radar is right here. And so you get these little, these are, it could be birds, it could be just about anything that is detected near the radar itself. But yeah, so they originate, you can see the little lines originate from where the radar is right here. And then this, of course, is the coast range in here. And then that's the windmills. We also have windmills down in here that are being, right here. You notice that these spots don't move to the west of Mountain House. The windmills that are there in the Altamont Hills. And then, my favorite ones on Highway 50, those little spots that I mentioned earlier that they don't move either. All sorts of little features here on radar. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna call it a day if I can figure out how to close the live stream. So yeah, thanks for being here today and tonight and putting up with my this being my first run at this. So have a good evening, everybody. If you hear some thunder, just sit back and enjoy it, and perhaps have a glass of wine like I'm going to do. I'm going to have a glass of wine and listen to the thunderstorms. Have a good night. The next briefing will be early tomorrow morning.